this defense. Jonathan Ledbetter, Lecky Fotu, Rashard Lawrence, Majay Sanders, Zaven Collins at inside linebacker, by the way, before he was an edge. Kaiser White, Cam Thomas, Antonio Hamilton, Buda Baker, Jalen Thompson, Marco Wilson, and Isaiah Simmons at the nickel.
A-Dub says the Legion of Whom.
The Legion of Whom?
That's one of the best comments we've ever gotten. I couldn't contain myself.
The Legion of Whom. Welcome to the opening bell of the NFL Stock Exchange podcast. Trevor Sikkema, it's Connor Rogers, two members of the Legion of Whom.
Yeah, that's right.
Here in the football industry. Appreciate you guys tuning in a day before Thanksgiving. Well, if you're listening to this live, I appreciate you tuning in a day before Thanksgiving. If you didn't listen to it before Thanksgiving, we don't appreciate you at all. Just kidding. We love you guys. We're here for another Stock Watch episode. Haven't had one of these in a hot minute, Connor.
Almost a month. I think
really?
basically what I did for all the quarterbacks I watched their last 3 games because we haven't talked about them since at least 3 games.
Right.
So it was very, very interesting process. And yeah, much needed for sure. We love Fix Your Franchise, Pimp Your Franchise. It's a ton of fun. But I was like, man, we've fallen behind some current conversations around the actual draft.
We have. It was time to get caught up on a lot of that stuff. We appreciate you guys riding with us as our schedules have changed a little bit. We've had some shows that have been a little bit more condensed this week, and we've had some things we had to do. That's why we're 15 minutes late. So you guys are actually correct in the chat this time, yelling at us
right.
that we're late. Greater Sinner said, I blame Big Tux for the delay. That is right. You know what? You can absolutely put it on Big Tux. We had another one. Hold on. Let me see in the chat. Hold on. Trevor was being held at gunpoint by Big Soap. Big Soap also catching it.
They're on your ass.
Yeah. Garrett's already in the chat saying that I was late because I was washing my hands. Correct. Squeaky clean, folks.
There you go.
Squeaky clean. We're beating the
shiny ring. Nicely done.
We're beating the allegations. I'm excited to dig into this, man. This is probably the longest in season that we've gone between Stock Watch episodes, especially for the quarterback conversation. You mentioned we got a handful of games now that we actually have some meaningful things to talk about. Quarterbacks who are playing well, some of the guys that aren't, some of the things that they're doing well, some of the things that they're not. And dude, we got one more week of the college football regular season.
It's over.
It's never been more over.
It's so done. My last 2 shows are Friday, Indiana, Purdue. And Saturday, we have a Black Friday game. And Saturday, we have UCLA, USC. And NBC doesn't have the Big Ten championship or bowl game, so it's never been more over.
Wait a second. What game do you have for Black Friday?
Indiana, Purdue.
Oh, that's on a Friday too?
Yeah, 7:30.
Dude, Friday's way more loaded than I thought.
Friday is almost overwhelming. Because
the Egg Bowl's at noon.
You have the Egg Bowl at noon.
You have an
NFL game at 3. Like a big NFL game. And then
Lane Kiffin's going to announce where he's going that afternoon.
Lane's going to interrupt. There's a ton of great hockey on Black Friday every year. Day hockey, not night hockey. Day hockey. And then Mendoza plays Friday night on NBC. It's crazy. And a lot of good basketball at night. It's a overwhelming sports day, Black Friday.
I kind of love it.
I do too.
We're leaning so much into Black Friday as like a big sports day.
It's kind of quietly become a holiday.
Dude. Yeah. Loudly now. 100%.
Yeah, loudly now. Yeah. It has done a really good job of just morphing into a lazy cleanup. Because nobody goes out for Black Friday anymore. Thank goodness. No. That was a horrific trend that needed to end.
Wait, people go out for Black Friday?
When they used to shop.
Oh, you're saying.
That's the whole point. That's why it's called Black Friday.
When you say go out, I think that you mean
like out at the bar.
Enjoy one too many adult beverages. That's what I think that you say when you say that phrase.
Dude,
because I was about to say, you know what do they call it? What's the Wednesday? celebration right before Thanksgiving. It's like,
Thanksgiving Eve?
No. It's got a
That's
name.
what I've called it.
It's not like Blackout Wednesday. I can't remember what it is. But essentially, everybody, we don't do this anymore. I feel like
Google says Blackout Wednesday.
Okay, it's Blackout Wednesday. I don't do this anymore. I feel like the Spider-Man meme where they're like, "Hey, what about Blackout Wednesday?" It's like, Trevor, you're 34. It's like, but
yeah.
When we were in our younger years, when you're in college, it's when everybody comes home for the holidays, obviously, and you haven't seen everybody since the summer. And so like you all go out the day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
and then obviously Thanksgiving, you're indulging in so much food, you can, sometimes cure the next day sickness, I will say.
Yeah. Thanksgiving hangovers in your early 20s are colossal. The Godzilla of being hungover. There is few that have conquered that. By the way, Sean Mafia in the chat says Connor L. Black Friday chaos was electric. I get it. Some people really like the chaos of the shopping. My PTSD is 1 year in college, I worked in retail on Black Friday. You had a choice that you either, there's only 2 shifts because they were the shifts were as long as possible. You either did the open at 4 or 5 a.m., whatever it was, or you did the close, which I think was noon to close. I took the close because I'd go home from college. I wasn't staying at college on Thanksgiving, but you had to work the shift. And I went to school in New York, so I could get back to school. I just had to drive 2 hours. So I was like, I'll take the close, whatever. Like, and you're in college, like you don't like getting up early. The anarchy that I do, the destruction of the store, which I will not name, was unlike anything I had ever seen. I felt like I rebuilt a city in 10 hours with the destruction I walked into to close this store on Black Friday. So that's why I hate what Black Friday used to be. I curled up the ball in the back.
That's fair. That part is fair. A lot better to be called to covering Mendoza on Black Friday.
Life's really good now
than closing a store on Black Friday. By the way, Sword in the chat saying Trevor's 34, nearly old enough to play for the Commanders. It's true.
Oh wow, yeah, that is the threshold.
It's true. I'm joining Legion of Whom. That's what I'm doing.
Starting safety, Legion of Whom.
Legion of Whom. Got a couple of super chats here to start the show before we start to dig in these quarterback prospects. Dylan's actually the first one, $5 super chat. We appreciate you, Dylan. Hard to think Dante Moore stays with the way that he's playing. Thoughts? Go Ducks. Love you, fellas.
What did we say Monday?
We're actually going to get into that very quickly here.
We said the winds are starting to blow in a different direction.
They are. It's true.
Slensai, thank you for the $20 super chat. Very generous during the holidays. Nadame Tucker, great sleeper at edge. I'll have to watch him.
All right.
Also, I need the Bengals to be pimped. Otherwise, I will put crust on the Uncrustables. That's a good threat. Love you guys. I surrender. We will pimp the Bengals next week.
Or else Big Crust is going to take over. They're going to get back onto the scene.
Imagine being the guy that invented the crust and everybody is just like scorned.
Well, I've seen one of those, like the meme pages on Instagram that'll post like the worst buy or whatever, and it's just like, oops, it's just crust, and it's like not the whole sandwich. It's literally they're just selling the crust.
It's like cardboard.
$20 from Silver Hammer Brew. I was getting my morning coffee at the truck stop yesterday, and after paying, I told the cashier, quote, "Have a good one." He replied, quote, "Have a better one."
Wow.
Not to be one-upped, I hit him with that, quote, "Thanks, kiddo." Alpha move.
The testosterone in that interaction would not pass a drug test.
Have a good one. Have a better one. Yeah, I'd immediately, you go into, the fight. Adrenaline just immediately kicks up if somebody does that. Like, oh, you want me to have a better one?
Yeah. Listen here, kiddo.
Yeah, right. That's the only reaction that you could have there.
Andrew Magnuson, friend of the show.
Yes.
Thank you for the super chat. Choose your fighter, over the cap or Spotrek.
I'm an over the cap guy.
Same. Yeah. It's almost nostalgic. I like that they refuse to update the website. It looks like it was made in 2004, and I like that.
I'm going over the cap.
It's a simple structure, and it's really great. And Jason that runs it, he's been on Badlands plenty of times. Great dude. So yeah, over the cap for sure.
Here we go. This is what the people actually tuned into the chat for. Matt, $5 super chat. Love you, Matt. Appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving. Giving. What dishes are the two of you making yourselves this year? Are you making a dish this year?
Yeah, so we hosted last year, so that was the second hell right below closing a Black Friday store. When my family called us this year and said, "Oh, is it Thanksgiving your holiday now?" I said, "Absolutely not. Lose my number." So,
all right, Dad, I'll talk to you later.
I was actually just assisting. Like when I say assisting, really just doing the most, basic stuff. Kristen was making the mac and cheese that we are bringing. And this is it's a top shelf mac and cheese. She made that, which I helped with. And then when I was at work today, you ever have a pumpkin square?
No.
Picture like a brownie.
Okay. That's where my mind went. This is where my mind went.
The cake is like more pumpkin style cake with this icing over it that I can't even describe. I think it's the most underrated dessert of all time. So those are two of the things that we're bringing.
I'm not a big pumpkin guy.
Neither am I, but you don't have to like pumpkin to like these.
Okay.
It's not, I can't explain it, but it's not very pumpkin-y.
I don't know if we're making a dish this year because we're on the road and then we're flying back home tomorrow. So
that's tough.
We don't have a lot of like prep time, but my father-in-law ordered enough food to feed thousands, truly thousands.
The city of Charlotte.
Yeah, truly. And there are 6 people.
Oh my God. He's filling your truck with leftovers.
I love him so much. He loves to host. He loves to be like, it's what he loves to do. And he's breaking it all out. We're getting smoked wings. We're getting smoked ribs. We're throwing tenderloin on the grill. He's got obviously like mac and cheese. He's got like all those kinds of sides, like everything like that. I think he already has like an apple pie that he pre-bought, all this kinds of stuff. So we're like, all right, buddy, I'll probably, if we end up cooking the tenderloin, because we actually told him, we were like, dude, we probably don't even need the tenderloin.
No.
But he's like, nah, I bought it. We're doing it. So if we're doing that, I'm probably helping him with the tenderloin because I made a big beef tenderloin for the first time this summer for my family. And I kind of had no idea what I was doing. And I was winging it with just, some red meat grill knowledge that I had previously, just from years of steak and burgers, things like that. And I'm not going to brag, but I nailed it. And so I'm overly confident that I could once again do that. So if I'm making a dish, it's probably handling the grill there.
I love that. I love that you guys are just having all of your favorite things rather than running the same monotonous playbook of Thanksgiving.
100%.
You're like smoked wings,
beef tenderloin. So just wings.
Just wings.
Jeff gets the joke. Thank you,
man. That's amazing. I'm jealous. That sounds awesome.
Are you? Because I want to start a war in the chat. Are you a turkey guy?
Yeah. Listen. Turkey is not a upper tier.
Turkey or ham? Turkey or ham?
Oh. When done right, ham is better.
Nah, that's the wrong answer.
But
that's the wrong answer.
But turkey has a higher ceiling.
I think ham's a bottom tier meat.
They both are. That's the secret of Thanksgiving. They're both lower tier meats.
That's a great point. You know what? Ribeye or prime rib. Don't care.
Right. Like, what do we
do that? Just do that.
No steak. There's no family member of steak in this combo. Then they're not an upper tier meat. Sorry.
Listen. Look at these people. Look at these people in the chat.
There's a reason that creatine is in steak. Okay. The Lord knew what he was doing.
Brother, hold on. I got to tell you this before we actually talk about quarterbacks. So my buddy, I have a group chat of just, friends I went to college with. We all think that we're meatheads, and it's just like the lifting chat that we have. So he was like, yeah, like I don't really, I mean, he was doing like 10 to 15 milligrams of creatine a day. And, or milligrams, grams, can't remember what it is. 3 scoops, whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like,
heavy dosage here.
And I was like, and he was like, yeah, well, if I just eat enough steak, I don't have to do that anymore.
It's
and
not
I'm like,
possible.
and
it's not possible.
My friend was like,
it's not possible.
My friend did the math of the ounces of steak he'd have to eat.
Yeah, it's insane
to get that much creatine. And he's like,
you'd have gout.
Call your primary care doctor right now and just let him know that your cholesterol is at an all-time skyrocket high if you want me to. I could just do that ahead for you.
He'd absolutely have gout within 2 weeks. That's unreal.
The King's disease.
That's right. That's why they call it that. The Gigantor.
Yes.
Having to decide between the NFLSC and watching my Pistons trying to win 14 in a row might just ruin my holiday weekend. Happy Thanksgiving, Squirts. Thanks, pal. Yeah, listen, you can do both. That's the beauty of the digital streaming world we're in.
Yeah, appreciate it, champ. All right, okay, let's talk about the first quarterback. Who do you want to talk about here for stock up?
Let's kick things off.
Let's play the normal conversation, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, as we always do on Stock Up, we kick off with a quarterback combo, and then we'll move over to Stock Up players and a new name. Let's play the hits here. Fernando Mendoza is who I want to start with.
All right.
Man, I just have to address something off the top, and this is maybe too deep-rooted in Jets world. I like people think I hate Fernando Mendoza, and I don't even know how this happened.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. You told me.
This is the classic. We always joke about this. If a guy's not in your top 5,
he's trash.
Then everybody thinks you think he's a UDFA. There's
100%.
there's no other slot in the draft.
100%.
So Mendoza, who I thought was a kind of a day 2 prospect coming into the season, has really, really, truly improved his stock. He's done a lot of really great things for Indiana and grown his game. And I watched his last 3 games for this show because we haven't done a stock watch in a while. And you kind of got to see a little bit of everything, even without having huge passing numbers. 212 passing yards against Maryland, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. 218 passing yards against Penn State, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Of course, the touchdown was the game winner. And then 299 passing yards with 4 touchdowns and no picks against Wisconsin, who they really beat up. To me, this is someone that from the infrastructure he's in, he's really, I love the confidence he has in his arm. Like, this is a developed confidence. He really believes in his ability to make throws, even in tighter windows. And it gets him in trouble. There's times where he tries to squeeze a throw or he tries to push a throw and he'll throw an interception. There's no denying that. But I'd rather him play that way than, and I know the graphic says 1 interception there. He's thrown a couple of picks this year, just for everybody watching at home. But he's somebody that when he's given time in the pocket, he can really, especially the way they built the team, he could challenge you outside the numbers and give his playmakers a real chance to just win the football. And I think that he's a player that does do full field reads. He works through full progressions. He'll go back to a read after looking it off. He tries to use eye manipulation. He's really doing a lot of good things this year. I thought against Penn State, the touchdown run he had to me was such a sign of this isn't a dynamic athlete. He's in any way, but he's a high IQ runner. He saw man coverage against Penn State on that play, and there was no hesitation to just take off and run and score the touchdown. So I think he's really developed an understanding of how to get free yards with his legs. My favorite throw in that Penn State game was actually, at least in the first half, was one he didn't complete. It was in the second quarter. He threw a slot fade, and he just showed the perfect amount of touch under the ball. And, you know, Mendoza, like one of his real calling cards is he has good velocity on with his arm strength. But unlike a lot of these young quarterbacks, and we're seeing this with JJ McCarthy even in the NFL right now, he does throw a touch. He understands how to be a touch thrower. So that's a big calling card for him. I think his biggest weakness in his game right now, and this kind of goes back to sometimes what's a strength, he straddles the line of being a fearless pocket passer and versus being reckless against pressure. Like there's times where he hangs in there and he makes a throw and he gets the snot knocked out of him. And I'm like, damn, like that's a pro play right there. Then there's a lot of times because he takes a lot of sacks where he's got to get rid of the ball. And he's even looking at where he wants to throw, but he'll kind of want a little bit more and then he'll get sacked. So that's something that I really want to see him continue. I think it's better than last year. He took 40 sacks at Cal last year. I think the offense under Cignetti has limited that and in a certain way, but there's still times like the last drive against Penn State, he takes a bad sack to start the drive, but he just throws his way out of it. That's what's so impressive. He'll put them in a down and long situation because of a bad sack, and then he'll complete a 20-yarder layered throw, and you're like, damn, he took a bad sack, but he made up for it. So I thought against Wisconsin, he threw more anticipation throws. I'll tell you right now, he's not the same athlete as this guy, but as a passer, he reminds me of the Colts version of Daniel Jones. He really does. Like he's the same kind of deep thrower with touch under the ball. If given time in the pocket, he's intelligent. He can work through his reads. He'll take some of those crazy chances still and throw some interceptions. And I know he gets a lot of Goff comparisons, and I think the Goff trade is like when he's moved off the spot, the arm strength and accuracy is not the same when he's in the pocket. He'll make some nice throws on the run, but you could see the difference.
Yeah.
I don't have an exact comp for Mendoza yet, but that's what stood out to me. And Daniel Jones has come a long way this year with the Colts. So it's a compliment. It's not an insult. But yeah, things are going in the right direction for Fernando Mendoza right now, Trevor.
Yeah, I mean, Akira in the chat is saying Mendoza is Jared Goff 2.0, which doesn't excite people, but it's a good QB. And I think that there's a lot of people who would kind of agree with that. I think that they're stylistically, the way that they throw the ball is very similar. Like I kind of think their body types are a little bit similar. That's why it's easy for people to sort of picture those two. I think their games are somewhat similar. I don't know if I'm going to end up having the Jared Goff comp officially for Mendoza, but there are certainly elements of that are in there. So I don't totally hate that comp. I don't know if it's exactly what I'm going to settle on, but I don't hate it. And I think that it's important to remember that, like, if we're talking about Jared Goff, like, yeah, you can nitpick Jared Goff, but at the same time, like, he very clearly a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, is he a great quarterback that's going to, be individual difference maker when it comes to winning a Super Bowl? Like, when the rest of the team around him crumbles, is he going to be able to pick them up when it comes to beating the best teams and all that? Like, I think that it's probably a long shot for that to be the case, but you're seeing him in good systems play really well. And I think that there's a place for quarterbacks like that in the league. I think that some people look at quarterbacks and just go, well, if you're not tier one, you're kind of pointless. And I don't totally agree with that. I really don't. And I think that this quarterback class specifically is going to require people to have a little bit of a different view. Now, I'm not telling you to make excuses for these guys. If you don't like them, you don't like them, and that's totally fine.
Right.
But I just don't want to hear anybody be like, oh, like Mendoza's like terrible, he's not going to make it. Oh, Ty Simpson, he's bad under pressure right now, so he's terrible, he's never going to make it. If you recognize the things that they do well and what they don't, I think that we could have a fair conversation in full context about whether or not you would take a player like that in the top 10 or even this year compared to next year. But that's sort of the conversation with Mendoza, and that's the conversation with a lot of other quarterbacks. And I can bring up Ty Simpson next because I wanted to watch Ty Simpson because there were two games back-to-back where he didn't play extremely well against both of them, but he did play pretty well against one of them, the LSU game and then the Oklahoma game. I thought he played really nice against LSU. I thought he continued to show, the layered throws, the touch throws. There was an out and up route to their tight end, Josh Cuevas, where it was just, I mean, you can't hand him the football better 40 yards down the field than what he was able to just pop pass right over the defense straight into the breadbasket. I mean, that's the stuff that you love from him. I love the fact that Simpson can throw a fastball one play and he can throw a change up the next. I love the fact that when Alabama gives him these layered concepts and these layered progressions of the timing of like, okay, if I'm hitting this guy quick, I'm hitting him within the first second of the play. But if I'm not hitting that, good chance that there's a guy on a post over top of him that's going to be in between two defenders, and that's where I'm going to layer it. And I think that he sees this very well. We continue to see him set protections every single week, so he has a good understanding of that. Now, the Oklahoma game, he struggles. He throws a couple of turnover-worthy plays, and Georgia got him on this a little bit too. And what happened with Ty Simpson is Oklahoma, Brent Venables, for as much as some people debate, like, is he a good head coach? He's a great defensive mind. He was a great defensive mind when he was at Clemson, and he is still that at Oklahoma. He showed a lot of pressure looks against Ty Simpson, where he would have, mugged looks, double mugged looks, simulated pressures, looking like pressure's coming from one spot and it's actually coming from another. And those were the things that Simpson still struggles with right now because he's a first-time full-time starter. So I think that with this class, the important part is, like, even with Mendoza being a little bit older of a prospect, like, they're not totally finished products.
No.
And I think that you need to think about that when you think of Mendoza, but specifically also with Simpson and Moore, who we'll get to in a second. These guys are first-year full-time starters. So they're learning things, and I think we have to give quarterbacks the ability to grow and to learn. And the value part of this is, I think, what's going to get people a lot this offseason, because I think that there's going to be a lot of people that look at Fernando Mendoza or look at Ty Simpson or look at Dante Moore maybe, and they're going to say, well, I don't want to draft this type of a quarterback in the top 10. And I'm okay with having that principle, and I'm okay with you even coming to that conclusion. But as the great Bill Parcells said, we can only take what the college guys give us. That's it. We can't draft players from last year's draft class or the 2027 draft class. We can only pick from the pool that we have now. So if we get Arvell Reese, Peter Woods, Caleb Downs, Ruben Bain, Jordan Tyson, if those guys are off the board, and that's what I just named, I don't know, 6 players. I won't say the other number because you guys accuse me of farming all the time. After we get those players, who you could pick? Maybe teams believe that quarterbacks actually make the most sense at that point. Maybe that's the most worthwhile pick for them. And I think that there's reason to believe that these guys are going to continue to get better. So, along with Mendoza, not perfect. I think the same. I think the same of Ty Simpson. I think that Simpson's cooled down a little bit since the beginning part of the season, but I still think that this is a player who, in this class, I'd consider a first-round pick quarterback. And depending on where you take him in the first round, I think just always comes down to where you are as a football team. So that's my thoughts on him.
I'm with you. My argument was that I think a lot of people started to be like, oh, you don't like Mendoza for the Jets. Was I didn't view him as a first overall pick that the Jets trade the farm up to go and get. Like, if you're sitting there and he's there, you could take him and develop him and win with him. But I didn't view him as a prospect that you're moving all these assets to move up and get and put in your infrastructure. And I feel that way about all these guys. Yeah. There's a lot of development left for all of them, especially Simpson, who's missed some throws the last couple of weeks. And we've seen, the pressure get to him for sure with Simpson. And yeah, and the crazy, like I keep saying, some of their biggest games are ahead of them, man. Like I can't wait to see Mendoza against Ohio State.
Mm-hmm. Dude, we're getting into like finally territory with Ohio State, specifically with playing Indiana, getting into the college football playoff. But I think that for Mendoza, but I also think about that with Julian Sayin as well, who I'm ready to see Julian Sayin against some legit defenses. I really am. Matt in the chat saying, get Ty Simpson, Sean McVay. I actually did a mock draft for PFF with Dalton a couple of days ago, and that's exactly what I did with the Rams extra first round pick that they had with Atlanta, where they're sitting there right on the edge of the top 10. Why not take the chance? Why not take a guy who you think has the chance to really I love the idea
that can sit.
Ty Simpson being able to sit behind Matthew Stafford for a year. That's the dream. That's absolutely the dream, in my opinion.
Right.
So, we had another somebody in the chat. I can't remember if it's super chat or not, but somebody was saying, like, can we talk about Arch? We will. Do you want to talk about Arch next? You want to talk about him?
I'll get right into it.
Yeah, let's talk about Arch next.
Arch has been playing a lot better lately. Yep. And as you see the stats here, this is another guy I went back and watched the last couple games. So his last 4 games, he went for over 340 in the overtime win against Mississippi State, over 320 against that top 10 Vandy team. They got blown out by Georgia, but I didn't think he was terrible against Georgia when I watched that game.
I don't think terrible is definitely not the word. And he wasn't even as bad as he was at the beginning of the season when he played Georgia.
And then obviously he lit up Arkansas. He had almost 400 yards. But I just think he looks so much more confident and comfortable over this last month.
Yep.
Like the structure of the offense, making decisions, throwing with confidence. There's been a couple of big time throws, not making bad decisions. And in his last 3 games, he's only taken 3 sacks, and all 3 of them were against Georgia. So he's getting the ball out. He looks more accurate. It looks cleaner mechanically. He doesn't look like, it felt like he had no confidence in the beginning of the year, where it was starting to affect his mechanics, and some of the throws were just ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? Maybe he was banged up. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he just had a slow start. But, we're obviously operating with lacking the expectation of him being in this class. But you still have to watch him and evaluate him. And the bottom line is, it goes to show you the long road with quarterbacks, right? Where Arch was basically declared a bust after 1 game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he was spectacular immediately after that game. But what I've seen in big-time SEC games over the last month is the guy that we were expecting to be on that trajectory, where he's getting
100%.
a little bit better. You
Yes.
see the arm talent. You see the mobility. So, Trevor, this is great for Arch, and is going to put him in prime position to keep growing as a player when he goes back to school next year.
Yeah, good friend of the program, Nate Tice, who
this was an interesting,
does a lot of really great stuff for
Yes.
Yahoo and everywhere. I mean, Nate's just a football junkie, a film junkie, understands the game so incredibly well. The 301 podcast with him and Charles Matter is fantastic, and we've had those guys on the show.
Yeah, we love having them on.
Nate had an excerpt from the show, and I don't want to speak too much on that because I haven't had time to go and listen to the full conversation, the full clip. But they tweeted out the graphic that he basically said if Arch is in this class, he's going number 1 overall. Like, he thinks he's going to go number 1 overall. Now, Nate went on to say, at least on Twitter, he was like, hey, I have Mendoza as QB1 right now, and I really don't think that Arch is going to be in this class. But he basically said that because of the way that he has played over the last 5 weeks. And it is absolutely worth talking about here, because we talked about this 4 games into this season. I took Arch Manning off the big board at PFF because I'm like, there's no point in having him on there. He's playing like a 7th round pick right now, but we know that he's not going to be in this class. So there's no point in me moving Arch from the number 1 spot that he was at preseason all the way to like 250th, where he was playing 4 or 5 weeks in the season. In fact, dude, 7 weeks into the year, he had a 6.9 turnover-worthy play rate. That's crazy.
He looked lost.
You normally want to have something around or below 2%. He's at 6.9. He could not stop making bad decisions. And over the last 5 games, he's below 1% of a turnover-worthy play rate. Now,
multiple games with 0.
Right. I think he had 4 of those 5 games. He had 0 turnover-worthy plays.
It was 4.2 against Georgia.
So it was just that Georgia game. And the other games around him,
Mississippi State, Arkansas, nothing. Mississippi
Vanderbilt,
State.
Arkansas. He's been great, man. Now, the big-time throws have been down a little bit, but that's kind of like what you want. He's closer to the ratio of what you want and how he is playing the position. And if you go watch some of his best throws, I think you put it perfectly. This is the player that we wanted to see at the beginning of the year. If Arch Manning was playing the way that he has in the last 5 weeks at the beginning of the season, we'd still be talking about him as the number 1 overall pick.
We would. And I think he has a huge decision to make and all of these. Yeah.
Yes. And I think that's why what Nate says, whether you totally agree with it or not, has weight and has merit. Because
absolutely does.
If what Arch has done over the last 5 weeks is what he did from the beginning of the season, even if it's 12 straight weeks of just this, he's in contention for the number 1 overall pick. We're talking about him as QB1 because this is a player that you can stack things on top of, start, he can learn, and he's got all the tools, man. All that stuff is still there. He's got some beauties over the last 5 weeks where he's launching the ball 50, 55 yards down the field. He still has that arm to attack deep down the field. Now, look, I went back and I watched a couple of games last year and this year because I knew we were having this conversation. And his motion this year, his throwing motion, is more sidearmed,
right?
And it's more sped up. So that's why you see some of the frustrating misses from him on tape. And I go, man, And I watched his stuff like last year, like the Mississippi State's one that I watched, where his throws a little bit more traditional. It's still got a little bit of sidearm to it, but it's a little more over the top. And I'll tell you, Connor,
it's like 3/4.
It wasn't as rushed last year. It looked a lot more fluid last year. And this year, it's like he's just trying to cannon everything in there. It's like he's like, oh, scouts are in the stands. And, Uncle Peyton's in the stands. I got to show him this stuff. Like what Matthew McConaughey's in the stands.
Yeah, right.
Whatever.
Feeling the expectations.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly what it is. And you can kind of change throwing motions and if he wants to change it, but that's still an area of his game where I think it's a seed of inconsistencies that we see from him. But the decision making has gotten so much better. He still has that athleticism to pick up yards with his legs, be a rushing threat, be an actual RPO type of a quarterback, play some QB power in the run game, and then he can continue to hit deep down the field. He's got just some really impressive throws. And so ultimately, I still don't think that he's going to declare.
Neither do I.
But again, we're so back. The masculine urge to say we're so back after just saying it's so over with Arch Manning is where we're currently at here in his journey. He's playing some really good football.
He is. That's what I enjoyed about watching these last 4 games. I was like, oh, Arch is back on track where when Trevor and I do summer scouting for quarterbacks next year, we're going to be really excited about Arch again because he is getting better each week and showing some of the traits that have led to combos about him being the top overall pick. So probably not in this draft and probably not ready to be, which is okay. But if he continues to get better and then you go up against Georgia and some of the big teams next year and have your better games in those moments, then yeah, we'll revisit that combo of him once again and with high expectations.
Moon is saying in the chat, he's had to speed up his throwing motion because, and then he says, I'll keep saying it, the offensive line cannot pass block for him.
It's not good.
The offensive line has absolutely been a step down from what it was last year. Now, obviously, when you lose a top 10 pick in Calvin Banks and then, Cam Williams, who you thought you were going to have for another year, he leaves.
Center was really good.
Yeah, Jake Majors.
4-year starter. Yeah, Jake
right.
Majors.
So yeah, I mean, like those guys not being in there absolutely means a great deal. I see the accelerated throwing motion even when he's kept clean, but I think that could sometimes be habits from pressure that you have endured throughout the season. So I can understand that part of it as well. Okay, I'll talk about Dante Moore. We can get into Dante Moore. So calm under pressure, man. I mean, him against USC was so good. His tape against USC, I thought was fantastic. It was the touch passes were all still there for him. The stuff that Dante Moore has done really well throughout the season, it was that in a big game environment against USC. So those touch passes, the accuracy, I mean, he's got above, dude, he had it's like an 86.3% adjusted completion percentage against USC. It was phenomenal. Everywhere he wants the ball to go, it goes. And it gets there with really nice touch. I think it's a really catchable ball, if you will. Some guys, they're rocketing it in there. There's the Michael Vick or Brett Favre stories where it's just like coming at you a billion miles an hour every time, no matter what, and it's difficult to catch. It's not how it feels.
The JJ McCarthy story
with Dante. Well, yeah, unfortunately. But Moore, he's playing very cool under pressure as well. I think the passing grade under pressure is great. He had a throw in this game, Connor, where it was, I think they were like 30 yards out, somewhere around 30 yards out from the end zone. The safety's showing a single high look pre-snap, but he's kind of moving around before the snap. So Moore, you could tell he's like, okay, I know this guy's doing something. They're probably going to end up dropping to a too high safety shell or a too deep coverage, whether it was a safety. I actually think it was the nickel defender. And he kind of sees that. He snaps the ball. Sure enough, the safety, who is in a single high spot, rotates all the way to one hash mark.
Classic.
And I believe it was the slot defender, drops to be that second deep coverage player. So now they're just playing too deep with that player now on the other hash and the slot defender dropping deep. And he knows he has a guy running an in-breaking seam route where he can throw it in between these two defenders now. And he layered this bad boy so confidently. It's one of my favorite throws that I've seen all season. It got there just in time where the guy was able to catch it and haul it in for a touchdown. It was a thing of beauty. And if I had one throw to showcase what Dante Moore could do for you, that would be one of the ones that would first come to my mind. So he's having a hell of a year. Elite overall PFF passing grade this season. Another elite game where he puts that mark up against a good opponent in USC. So he's playing fantastic. And I think going back to I can't remember if it was a super chat or a regular chat that we had at the top of the show, Dante Moore's in competition for QB1. There's no question
without a doubt.
And we have talked about this with him, thinking it's likely he goes back because he's just a true junior and he's only a 1-year starter. But if you're staring number 1 overall or a top 3 selection,
a lot of money, man.
It's really hard to not take that, especially looking at some guys who came back even from last year's class who now regret not being in the previous class and capitalizing on some momentum.
Top 3 pick money is in a different stratosphere than 1 year of NIL money, man. Like let's not go too far the other way.
Downtown Brown saying Dante Moore is what my grandfather would call a cool cat.
Man, he is. He's got a little bit of like the natural to him. You watch him play.
Yeah. Yep.
Like he's just out there and it's like effortless, perfect placement, different clubs in the bag, as we love to say, with the throws.
Yes. Yep.
He's got the short area. He could reset the pocket. He could dip the shoulder. I love him. And selfishly for this class, I would love if this class was him, Simpson, and Mendoza. I really would, because it'd be really fun to have a debate when we have the full picture of what those guys are and what they can be. And Moore is still 20 years old. So this is a really young dude.
Oh, yeah. Anthony Russo said he's just a redshirt sophomore. I said a junior, but he is.
Yeah, no, he's only a redshirt sophomore. I had some people be like, he looks too small for me. I'm like, man, he's 6'3". Like he'll get up to 220 when it's time for the combine. He will. All these guys do. So I'm not really worried about size. He's not
going to run, not going to jump, but
wait, damn it,
he'll get on that Little Caesars hot and ready diet.
Done.
Like Bryce Young, baby. Bryce Young. I was explaining this
small.
I was explaining this to Alyssa, my wife, like a week ago or whatever, how whatever you weigh at the combine is just your weight forever. Right. I think we were talking about it because Darnell Washington said that he's 311 now
on the St. Brown podcast.
Yes. And he weighed 267, which is also massive for a tight end. He weighed 267 at the combine, and his weight everywhere on the team site, on the NFL site, on PFF, it will say 267 forever because they don't update it. So that's why quarterbacks don't work out at the combine. They just bulk up if they're small because, again, Bryce Young, what do you think Bryce Young plays at? 185?
I would say maybe 185.
I bet he plays between 180 and 185 pounds.
Me too.
And he is listed at 202 because of the combine.
Especially this late in the season, where like if you go into camp and for 4 months, all you've been doing is dieting and lifting and working out throwing wise, but now you're on the routine of a season, you're going to lose weight for a guy like that naturally doesn't hold weight. And he's just not tall. It's crazy. But, leading up to the combine, like there's tons of stories of guys eating 9 eggs every morning and.
Oh, couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, couldn't do it.
No, not 9 eggs.
I do love. Okay. Here's a question before we get into the last 2 quarterbacks here. This might just be a quarterback show, guys.
It might be, which is fine. It was needed.
What is the best hot sauce to put on eggs?
I mean,
you got Cholula, you got Frank's Red Hot, you got Crystal, you got
I've done
Sriracha.
it, I've only done Frank's when I put hot sauce on eggs.
Valentina.
Yeah, just Frank's. I'm not very creative with the hot
Tabasco
sauce.
Chipotle. I'm laying it all out there for you, and you're sticking with Frank's.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't put hot sauce on eggs a lot.
Oh, dude, I can't.
You know what I do? I'll tell you what I do. Maybe like this is
without it.
Well, how do you eat your eggs? Scrambled?
All right, so you ready for this? I'm gonna Alton Brown it up for you right here.
Okay.
This is what I do. I crack 2 whole eggs. Okay.
Right.
In the pan. Then I take, the Costco Kirkland container of egg whites. You ever get like the little cartons of egg whites? Half of one of those, pour that bad boy in there, let it cook a little bit, but not entirely. And then I cut the egg yolk out before it fully cooks. So so the egg yolk is still runny. I'll put the egg yolks, just the little cut out egg yolks, in a bowl, let the rest of the egg whites cook fully, throw the egg whites into the bowl, use the egg yolk as a little bit of a sauce.
That's what I do.
And then throw some hot sauce in.
So I don't, if I'm going to use hot sauce, I'll use Frank's, but I do the same thing almost every time. I'll have about 3 over easy eggs. I mean, barely cooked, right? Where the yolk is just running. But I put the eggs on top of hash browns and bacon, and I just mix it all together. So it's really just egg yolk filled hash browns and bacon. And I eat that at work 3 to 4 times a week.
Yeah, you got to do it. Got to do it. You know, if you're benching 315 for reps, which obviously we are,
22 reps,
you got to make sure that the Dice is saying, what the hell did I just listen to? Just put the fries in the bag, bro. Salensi said, Trevor, I get so, whatever he said, like, I get so nervous when you hand clap because you always say something extremely out of pocket after that.
I don't know where it's going. And I'm a little nervous you're going to reveal something that people shouldn't know. But that was a good one.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That was a good one. By the way, Cholula, I think is the number 1 tier hot sauce for eggs. I think is Cholula.
I feel like I saw you recently tweeting about a Chipotle sauce that you were obsessed with.
Dude, have you had the chimichurri sauce from Chipotle?
No, I have not.
It's changed my whole life.
Damn, it's like that, huh? On a double chicken bowl?
I don't care if that's the whitest thing I've ever said.
What's good is good.
It's changed my whole life.
All right, next week I'm trying it.
Yeah,
I'll do it on the show. I don't care.
Do it. No, go in for Thanksgiving tomorrow. They'll be open. Ruin the Thanksgiving meal. Go there beforehand. Make your family pissed at you. It'll be
walk in with my bag of Chipotle on Thanksgiving. Damn, I hope Chipotle's not open on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I do too. Okay, before we get to whatever quarterbacks you want to talk about, and then probably rapid fire a couple of prospects, me, that we want to get to. This episode sponsored by our friends over at BetterHelp, folks. As days get shorter, a little bit colder, take a toll on how we feel, right? This time of year can be tough for a lot of people. It's a great reminder to reach out to somebody, check in with people that you care about. Calling your grandma, writing a letter to a friend, finally grabbing lunch with somebody that you haven't seen in a while. We're all healthier when we stay connected, and we've got that community and support. Just like reaching out to a friend, starting therapy, it can take a little bit of courage, right? Once you do it, you might find yourself wondering, why didn't I do this sooner? BetterHelp makes starting therapy very easy. You'll be matched with a licensed therapist based on your needs and preferences, so you can focus on the growth and goals. Over 12 years of experience, they've got more than 30,000 therapists they work with. Over 5 million people helped worldwide. Average live sessions of 4.9 out of 5 stars. If you're not happy with your match, you could change it at any time. You switch therapists at any time, no hassle. This month, don't wait to reach out, whether that's checking in with a friend or reaching out to a therapist yourself. BetterHelp makes it easy to take that first step. Our listeners get 10% off their first month over at BetterHelp.com/PFF. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/PFF. Obviously, partnership with PFF there. All right, let's do it. Fire it off. Last quarterback,
and I'll pick up the pace here.
I wondered if I was getting you mid uncrustable. I wondered if
no. I had it before the show today. I'm all business today. We had a lot of names to go through. We had a lot of Thanksgiving talk. I knew the Superchats would be flowing. I have my business suit on, theoretically.
All right, let's do it.
Brandon Sorsby, who you've talked about before, the Cincinnati quarterback.
I have indeed.
So I watched his last 3 games, which might be unfair to him because he's hit a little bit of a cold stretch here. He's thrown 4 touchdowns and 4 picks, 6 big-time throws. He's only taken 2 sacks, by the way, on 111 dropbacks in these last 3 games. But
he's an athlete.
He is an athlete. They lost by double digits against both Utah and BYU, and they lost all 3 of those games. The other was against Arizona. He's a loose athlete. You see the arm angles, like he could change arm angles to try to hit different throws. Dude, this is exactly what you were talking about earlier, though. There are so many fastballs on this tape. Like, he just wants everything to be a fastball because he's so gifted. He's a big guy. I think he's 235 pounds.
Yeah, he's thick.
And he's a good athlete. So it's a like a bigger, loose athlete with a good arm, but it's just high velocity throw. And when he has to throw a touch, he had a really nice lofted deep ball against Utah in the second half that I was like, I wish there was more of that on this tape. We'd be talking big time here. But most of the time when he throws with touch, it's just not there. It's not comfortable. He's kind of aiming it a little bit. He's like, okay, this is a touch throw. Except when he's throwing with velocity, it's like just whipping his arm around. And the problem is the defensive line has kind of picked this up. He has a lot of passes batted at the line of scrimmage because of it. A lot. And against which game? Okay, it was against Utah. I think on his interception, he threw the ball against his own teammate's helmet. On the all 22, it was a little blurry, but it had to hit a helmet.
Well, he's been playing NFL Street.
Dude, I'm telling you, it was like he just dropped back.
He's just been playing NFL Street too.
Whipped the ball. I'm pretty sure it went off his own teammate's helmet and was picked off, and that really killed them in that game.
Yeah, you get more game breaker points.
And in that same, gotta go for those. They gotta remake NFL Street.
Dude, I would give anything.
The whole argument apparently from the developer was that like it wasn't worth making. I'm like, since who? Everybody would buy NFL Street.
Dude, everybody would buy NFL Street. What we might need to do is try to level up this. We might need to level up this YouTube channel during the summer content, and we might need to stream NFL Street. Because like we could create players. Like we could create the modern day players and then stream a game of NFL Street for the good people. I feel like they'd love that.
Yeah, I think you and I are just going to ditch summer scouting for gaming.
We're just going to. Hey, when we get the Discord set up, we might be able to do full Madden franchises once we get the Discord set up.
Amazing.
Because you and your buddies do that with NCAA, right?
Yeah, we since EA CFB has returned, me and my buddies, and a lot of them, like, we don't live near each other anymore. So it's literally how we stay in touch. We have the group chat and we play a dynasty. We've had the dynasty since launch. And when the new one came out, we started it on the new one just to change it up. Because like, like how many seasons are you going to do? We did a lot of seasons, but it's amazing. There's there's 8 of us. I
would love to do that with the Addicts. And somebody, Jeff is saying in the chat, they're doing tournaments, like NFL Street tournaments. Like we can set up all that kind of stuff.
I would love that.
Yeah, we're convincing ourselves to do a Discord here. You guys have been asking so long for it. We're convincing ourselves to actually do it.
Stick with us. We'll get there.
Peter said, I can't wait to whoop Trevor 130-0 in Madden. Pick up the sticks, Pete.
I love his profile,
bro.
A squirrel with a Coors Light and a tin of Zin.
Probably. I can't exactly see it, but I'm just gonna confidently.
There's no Blue Chew in that pick, Pete? Is that a Blue Chew? Last thing on Sorsby, he's an athlete out. I know I could really transition, for the best of them. Talking about Blue Chew and gaming. One more thing on Brennan Sorsby, quarterback prospect.
Yeah. This is good for the clip.
And then I'll answer Moonfish's question in a second. He's really impressive physically, but the mental side of the game is still growing to him. Like Utah they just kept spamming their linebackers blitzing. And this is also the sideline should have helped him with this as well. When they're doing that, like just throw it hot in the middle of the field. And all Cincinnati's routes he was just throwing vertical balls over and over again. And they just kept blitzing all the linebackers. And I'm like, man, the play caller's got to help him out and start throwing the middle of the field. And he's got to obviously throw middle of the field. So, some predetermined throws have gotten him in trouble. There was one against BYU where he's like, I'm just going to make this throw work. And he's got a lot of talent, man, but he's a work in progress for sure from those 3 games, you could tell.
Yeah. by the way, just because I think there's some people who joined who might think that we're doing quarterback rankings here. These aren't rankings.
No.
We're just
a conversation.
Yeah. These aren't like in order of how we're ranking these quarterbacks. These are just some of the conversations that we've wanted to have about these guys over the last 3 to 4 weeks. So I wanted to make sure that I shouted that out there.
Yep, Trevor's number one quarterback, Brendan Sorsby. Everyone.
That's
why he's last.
100%. Saving the best for last.
Actually, you do got one more.
I do have one more. I just want to talk about LaNorris Sellers just a little bit. And then I want to touch on Marcel Reed in a second because a lot of people in the chat are talking about Marcel Reed from Texas A&M. Sellers should not declare for this draft.
No, I agree.
Sellers should not be in this draft. I was watching that Texas A&M game, and his numbers overall in the Texas A&M game are good because South Carolina goes up 30-3 at halftime against the number 3 team in the country in Texas A&M, on the road in Texas A&M. And they end up losing that game. And the reason why is because they absolutely could not do anything in the second half. And I just want to read off to you guys what the last sequence was for LaNorris Sellers here in this game. Backs against the wall, last drive of the game, have to get into field goal range or it's over. First down, about 4 minutes left. They've got to get in field goal range, like I said. First down, on their own 9-yard line, 4-yard pass. Okay. Second down, roll out, throw away. Third down, quick pass to a slant route from the opposite hash versus inside leverage, incomplete. That's one of those plays where it's not entirely on Sellers, but it's hard because maybe the play is just designed where you have to throw this football no matter what. But the corner was in off coverage, full inside leverage, almost like a full yard of inside leverage, basically just guarding this slant route. Knew it was coming, broke on it, easy PBU. Then you have fourth down, 4th and 6, incredible out corner throw to, I think it was Nick Harbour. Miraculous catch, unbelievable catch at the sideline. Converts, gets to keep the game going. First down, at the 30. Now they're at the 30-yard line, if I'm remembering. Yeah, this the notes. First down, 30-yard line. Screen pass goes for 9 yards. All right, pretty good. 2nd and 1, takes a sack with 2 minutes left. 3rd and 12, takes another sack. 4th and 16, scrambles for a few yards. Game's over. Brutal last 3 plays to have. 2 sacks and scrambling for 2 yards when you needed 16. The offensive line's not good. The chemistry with the play calling is not good. They've already fired one offensive coordinator this year. And unfortunately, I don't think LaNorris has improved from his pocket presence. The issues that we saw from him in summer scouting. And I don't think the tools can overcome him having a bad pocket presence. Now, all I've heard is he's a great kid. He's a hard worker. He's football smart. But right now, it just doesn't feel like he's in a good spot in South Carolina. And I think he needs to go back to school. I don't think he should declare for this draft. And unless South Carolina really nails it at offensive coordinator, I think his best plan might be to transfer. Because the offensive line is also not what it needs to be. And I fear another year in South Carolina, and we're having the same conversations about him a year from now, which I don't love. So that's sort of where I'm at with LaNorris Sellers. I was lower on him than a lot of people. I think we were both lower on him than a lot of people during summer scouting.
He was a project.
And it has not really looked better. And I think there are things that he does well. It's not like he's catastrophically terrible.
Absolutely.
I don't think he's Anthony Richardson. But I think that his pocket presence right now gets him in a lot of trouble at the NFL level. Unless things are really perfect for him. He's got a great offensive line. It's just hard to just draft a quarterback high when you say when the situation's great, he's great. All right, well, you kind of need your quarterback to be a little bit more than that because situations aren't going to be ideal in the NFL level. So I'm just still not really in on Sellers this year. I think he goes back to school.
I hope he does, and I hope the situation around him gets better, and I hope he grows in that situation. But I really hope he doesn't declare because I just don't want to see, he'd have to sit for a while. And it's, man, you get better by playing in college. You really do, right? I don't think you could just go hide in the NFL in a program for 2 years without playing. There's going to be a couple exceptions, but the best thing for Sellers, and But the last couple games have gone for Ty Simpson. Sometimes I feel that way about Simpson. I really like Ty Simpson a lot as a prospect. But there's also times where I'm like, man, he just needs to play more college football because he's been sitting so long waiting. So with Sellers, he needs a better environment, and he needs to clean up on the things we've talked about going back to July.
All right, we'll go rapid fire through our we'll back and forth. We'll ping pong a little bit here with the guys that we wanted to bring up. I'll let you start here.
And mine's real quick on the first one. Caden McDonald from Ohio State, man. Like, I don't think anybody's going to be, terribly surprised to hear I love an Ohio State defensive tackle. That's the 330 pounds.
You see that little stock up animation from the chef there?
Beautiful,
Did
chef.
He added it into the show.
That is beautiful.
That little squiggle. Look at that. Look at that. Look at him. Look at him cook.
Whew. I think everybody knows how much I love Tyleik Williams in this role last year. And Caden McDonald, there's a world where he's even better. I mean, there's not a ton of pass rush ability at the moment right now. Not a ton. But he could be the best run defender in the country, at least that plays with his hand in the dirt. This dude is unmovable. Unmovable. You watch the Rutgers game, and Rutgers under Schiano, they like to play bully ball and set the tone and set the run. And McDonald blew up, I think, 5 plays I saw where he didn't just hold his ground. He was in the backfield either making the play or redirecting the back. So McDonald is an NFL player, man. He looks like a first-round pick to me. And in this league where everybody's trying to run and eliminate the run and make you one-dimensional, he makes the opposition one-dimensional.
Yep.
Phenomenal player.
I like him more than I liked Tyleik last year.
Yeah.
I know you were higher on Tyleik than I was anyways.
But I think I like McDonald even better.
Yeah, I just think that he's a stud. He's a rock in the middle. I don't know how much pass rush he's ever really going to give you, but having that bowling ball in the middle that you feel great about to take up multiple gaps, feel like you could have a good confidence with him against double teams. I mean, that's very, very valuable, no matter whether you're an even front or an out front. So I'm a big Caden McDonald guy for this year as well. Skylar Bell is the first player that I want to talk about here. The stock up player. Yeah, you had him as a stock up player.
Early.
It took me a long time to get to his film, and he's a Biletnikoff finalist this year, 5'10", 185 pounds. He was at Wisconsin before he was at UConn, and interesting enough, he was a 3-star recruit, played did he redshirt? The first year that he played a good amount, like he was in the rotation a decent amount. And then the next year he was like a full-time starter. And then the following year he was not a starter. He started 2 out of 13 games. And then he transferred over to UConn, became a major part of that passing attack. And especially this year, he's been unbelievable. He's a smaller receiver, so you might think to yourself, hey, he's a slot-only type of a guy. I don't think that's the case. I think this guy's a hell of a route runner. I think he's good in contested catch situations. He's got great hands. Now, if I remember correctly, the catch percentage for him throughout his career has been lower than you've wanted it to be. It was in the 70, high 70s, low 80s. Over the last couple of years, but this year it's at 95%. He's catching everything that comes his way. He's a yards after catch kind of a guy. You can align him anywhere. They base the entire passing attack around him. The body control, the one cut ability, whether he has the ball or he doesn't, is pro caliber. The route tree is wide open with this guy. I think he's a top 100 player in this class. I really do. I am there with him. Size be damned. Again, the 1 year of being a really, really good catch percentage player worries me a little bit. He's a last year of his career breakout type of a player. That worries me a little bit. But overall, it's hard to deny the body of work that this guy is putting out there here in 2025. And if this version of him is what you get in the NFL, this is a difference-making player. This is a wide receiver 2 caliber type of a route runner that you're getting.
I'm with you. I love the shout out. Damn good player. And I like you saying top 100. I see it as well. I think he's going to go in the 3rd round, honestly, with the way he's been playing at this point. We'll see the testing and the process.
That's the range that I've got him in as well.
Yep. One more for me here. It's really good to see Penn State, since they kind of went into a tailspin. It's really since the Northwestern game, feature Katron Allen. Because the fat man is taking advantage of it. Man, that production has just significantly spiked since week 7. That was the Northwestern game. Some of the big performances: 145 rushing yards at Iowa, 181 at Michigan State, 160 against Nebraska. over his last 5 games, he's forced 27 missed tackles. And I did a tape breakdown on him this week for NBC. Trevor, really good in pass pro, like square. It generates strength from his lower half to anchor against blitzers. Fat man is what a pro running back looks like. And I love the contact balance.
Yeah. I like him better than Nick Singleton. I feel like I've
turned on it. I thought Singleton would be the better guy. I don't see that at all anymore.
Yeah, I think that Katron Allen's the better pro back. In
He's
my
like
opinion,
a younger Ramondre.
I don't mind that at all. Like off the top of my head, that's sort of the stylistic comp that we're talking about here with him. I just think that his game is very translates to the pro level very well,
without a doubt.
Top end comp is like a Tyler Algier type of a player where he's just an absolute bowling ball and you can never tackle.
He's got good feet though. I'm always surprised when he stops on a dime in the open field. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Allen's great. 2 guys for me. Josh Cuevas is the first guy from Alabama who I wanted to talk about here. 6'3", 255, I believe is what he is listed at. He is a redshirt senior. Okay. He was a 0-star recruit coming out of high school. He played wide receiver and linebacker, and he committed to Cal Poly as a tight end. So he played at Cal Poly for 2 seasons, redshirted one of them, played 12 games the next year, transferred to Washington in 2023, played 15 games when he was at Washington. Then when DeBoer got the job at Alabama, he transferred over to Alabama with DeBoer. So he stayed in that system with that head coach there. Connor, he's a little bit smaller for the tight end position, but man, if this dude was like 6'5", 260, I think we'd be talking about him as like a 2nd-round pick. And I don't know if he has the size to be considered like that, but I really enjoy his game, especially over the last couple of weeks. He's become more of this offense here. He's been used more as a receiver in his career than when he had since actually, what am I trying to say here? He has been used as a receiver more this season since he was at Cal Poly. There we go. That was difficult to say. Overall, I think he's got decent size to be able to play in line. He can play in the backfield. He can play in the slot. Plays in a lot of different spots for Alabama. I think that he gets out of his stance very, very quickly, whether he's in a stand-up in the slot or whether he is in line. I think he's got good juice, good athleticism. His fundamentals as a blocker are really nice. I think he's very light on his feet. It allows him to move and mirror with either defensive backs or linebackers that he's going up against, sometimes even defensive ends, where even if he's overpowered a little bit, he's one of those guys where he's got so great of feet that he can stay in front of him a little bit, and it's not like he's holding on for dear life and committing penalties. I love how nimble the footwork is there for him. High catch percentage throughout his career, no matter how many targets that he has gotten. I think he's a well-coordinated blocker in space as well. You can use him as a wing back or as a lead blocking fullback, sort of how the Colts use Tyler Warren in their offense. He just doesn't have a lot of receiving production in his career. I think he lacks that like pro size at tight end. And I think he loses the arm length battle pretty easily against defensive ends in college, which means that'll continue in the pros. But I think he's got some extra juice as a receiver. And like I said, I love the way this dude moves. I think he's very balanced, got good grip strength, good core strength. And I feel like he's turning into a mid-round tight end type of a player, maybe an early day 3 guy because of his size. But I think if you got Josh Cuevas on your NFL team, you've got a tight end 2 and a wing back option for heavy personnel sets that you're pretty happy with. So wanted to shout him out because he's playing well.
I like it. There's some really underrated tight ends now in the SEC between Cuevas and Daquan Wright on Ole Miss. Like there is talent, and we'll get to that group because I know we didn't get to it over the summer in a full rankings.
Yeah. Last guy for me that I'll shout out here is Brandon Cisse, the cornerback from South Carolina. It took me a while to get to his film, but when the GOAT Dan Brugler lists him as a top 50 player, you pay attention. And so I wanted to make sure that I got to Cisse's profile here. Make sure I got his full profile correctly. Hold on.
That run defense grade is pretty wild.
He is, I think he's a total player. I really do. I see what Dane really likes in him. So he's a true junior this year. No guarantee that he comes out, but 6 foot tall, 190 pounds. So he's got the size to play outside corner at the NFL level. 3-star cornerback when he was coming out in his recruiting class. He played defensive back and wide receiver in high school. He's also a former track sprinter, ran the 100, ran the 200. He was with NC State for the last 2 years before this one. Didn't have any starts in 2023, but he still played in all 13 games, and he started all 9 games that he played in 2024 before switching over to South Carolina. South Carolina plays a lot more zone than they do man. So he's got a lot more zone reps, but I think he's got the length. I think he's got the twitchiness to him to be able to mirror out of press. When I watched the press reps, I still really liked what I saw. Really high forced in completion rate over the last 2 seasons. So he gets his hands up when the football is coming near him. And I think that's also a sign of how good of athleticism that he has to recover, stay in the hip pocket of wide receivers, keep up with him. Very low missed tackle rate and really high run defense scores in his career. You mentioned the run defense scores that you guys see on the screen. Really nice makeup and recovery speed. Anytime he's in a trail technique, if it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to get my hands on this guy at a press, and okay, he gets a good release on me. Maybe he's even and maybe he has a step, but normally he can make up for that because he's got that smooth explosiveness in his lower body, including his hips when he's turning to run to get upfield. I think the footwork is excellent, especially in off coverage. He's able to anticipate pretty well, react to things very quickly, and you really need that when you're playing in off coverage. So off coverage, he's played more of. Zone coverage, he's played more of because of South Carolina's system. But I think he's got the skill set to be able to play in press man as well. So this is somebody who I think has the athleticism and the size to be able to do it all. And I don't know if he's for sure going to be in this class, but he's somebody who, if he is, we're probably talking about him as a top 50 pick.
I like it. I got another defensive back to add to this as well, just to drop a new name before we get out of here.
Yep.
One thing I love about November is matching football in the middle of the week, man. Like once in a while, you just stumble upon guys that you maybe didn't get to see a lot during the year. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren plays safety. He plays a lot of roles for that Toledo defense, but they played Miami, Ohio on a Wednesday a couple weeks ago. And I saw this dude playing free safety with some great range on a throw that he really could have had a pick. He didn't finish the play, but this is a long-limbed kind of DB. He can cover ground with big strides. I like his vision. Over the last 3 years, he's forced 8 fumbles. So like when he comes up to hit, and he plays in the box a lot, when he comes up to hit, he comes up to hit with intentions. Just a total hybrid player that can cover tight ends, can do damage in the box, has enough range as a free safety over the top. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, playmaker from Toledo.
I did not like his tape when we watched over summer scouting because I thought he was late on a lot of reads and it got him in trouble. However,
he plays more now closer to the line of scrimmage.
The way that people talk about him now is that they talk about him with really great instincts and anticipation. So I got to go back and watch him because there's a lot to like about him. Outside of the reps where I didn't feel like he saw it quick enough. And if that's not an issue for him anymore, then I think he could be a good football player.
I wonder if him getting hurt last year and having more time off the field actually, in a weird way, even helped his mental side of the game, because now he's back healthy this year. And I agree, like the traits are starting to apply to the mental side of the game. I watched 3 games from this year. I watched that one live against Miami on Wednesday, but I went and watched some tape of him. I like him. He's unique. Like Toledo just finds these guys. It's crazy.
I think Dane Brugler likes him a lot as well. So you're in good company there.
Nice.
We see all the super chats. We're gonna read as many as possible. But before we get to that, parenting, folks, filled with all sorts of high pressure decisions. It can be difficult to tell if we've made the right choice for our kids' future. Here's a simple decision today that you can make for your kids' future. Feel pretty good about opening up a UGMA Kids Investment account to help start their investment journey and give them a financial head start. Fabric by Gerber Life. It was designed by parents for parents to make it easy to plan for and manage your family's financial path. With the Kids Investment Account for Fabric, you guys can start investing in your child's future today. While kids can't invest while they're minors, a UGMA Kids Investment Account allows you to invest on their behalf, gives their investments so much more time to grow. Funds can be used for nearly anything. When they're younger, maybe you're buying books, helping with tuition, taking them to summer camp, after school activities, sporting events, whatever that is. And then maybe when they're adults, you're helping them buy their first car, first house, setting up a business, whatever that looks like. It's all online. Setting up an account could take you as little as just 5 minutes. You started investing with as little as $1 a day and then manage your child's account, monitor those investments right from your phone. No contribution limits on it. Multiple tax advantages, SIPC insured up to $500,000. No commission fees to it, just a low flat monthly maintenance fee. Join the thousands of parents who trust Fabric, help protect their family. Starting investing in your child's future today. Meetfabric.com/stock exchange. That's meetfabric.com/stock exchange. MEET fabric.com/stock exchange. The portfolios are managed by Fort Washington Investment Advisors Incorporated. All additional services are provided by Apex Coin Corporation. All investing is subject to risk. You can learn more at meetfabric.com. All right, let's roll on with the super chats before we get out of here. Get you guys to your Thanksgiving holiday. Arlo, $5 super chat. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope it's a good one. Go Bears on Black Friday. Yeah, that's the NFL game we got about Black Friday. Bears, Eagles?
Yep. Eagles are 7-point favorites.
Whoo, that's too many. It's too many. Don't like it.
It's a big number.
I like the Eagles to win, but not by 7.
That's
not
the game. 7. Tony Lee, our guy, thank you for the $20 super chat. Can't wait to get into the quarterback conversation. As a Jets fan, I'm leaning on wanting to wait till the 2027 draft for a quarterback. Keep building the roster. 2026 class has not really impressed me. Give me Reese and a wide receiver in round 1. Tony, I will not criticize that plan. If the Jets walk away with Arvell, Reese, and a wide receiver and say, hey, we'll wait a little bit, you could do worse.
You've talked about that very strategy, not forcing quarterback and then just going with the guys that make the most sense.
We did multiple mock drafts on our fixing the Jets.
And we'll do it again. Damn it. Mahal, $5 super chat. Draft the best team out of all draft analysis who didn't play in D1. Trev can be the kicker. Great.
Draft the best team out of all draft analysis who didn't play D1. That's actually really fun. Wait, it's a longer combo, so we can't do it today.
No, we can't. But I'll be the kicker.
Well, we lose Nate because he played D1.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I was going to say, like, Nate will be our quarterback. He can't because he played D1, so he doesn't qualify.
Owen Reese is our left tackle.
Who is?
Owen Reese. He's our left tackle.
Yeah, and he played, but he didn't play D1, so we can have Owen on the team. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'll play slot receiver. Fine.
Great.
Done. We got 3 people.
Good time.
We'll fill out the roster. Don't you worry.
The Drewski route.
Yeah. My 12-second release package. That's a timeless video.
It is always the best when you go to some of these all-star events and we see the one-on-ones. It's corners versus wide receivers, and it is they're doing like a multi-layered release that takes 6 seconds.
Yeah.
To get open.
Your quarterback has been pronounced dead 20 minutes ago.
Hey, but am I gonna post the clip on Twitter and be
like,
sick release?
1,000 likes.
Yeah,
love it. Yeah. Carson, thank you for the super chat. Who should the Broncos pick in the first round if Sadiq Styles and CJ Allen are available? Appreciate it, little bros. Sadiq's the fun pick. Yeah,
Sadiq's the fun pick.
They do need another weapon. I know they have a lot of guys, but they need someone a little bit more unique.
I think it's in that order. I think it's Sadiq and Styles and then Allen.
All right.
$5 from Sean. Went to school with Melkart Abu Jode. I think is how you say the name.
Yeah.
Leads the ACC in sacks. Clash Royale enjoyer. Either of you goobers have any thoughts?
Give us.
Don't have thoughts.
Clash Royale enjoyer.
Is that's the iPhone game, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
That I always assume those games are just trying to hack your phone. Like they're not like when you see the ads.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, Sean. We'll try to get back to you.
I haven't played an iPhone game since
Temple Run for me.
No, what was before that? Flappy Bird was before that. That might be the last one.
Okay. Brandon Ryblick. Good news and bad news, boys. Bad news is I work Friday. I feel you, man. I'm with you. Good news is my coworkers and I agreed to me bringing in my Fire Stick and TV to watch football on Friday. Happy Thanksgiving, shrimps. Love y'all. Nicely done, pal. Enjoy TV at work. I like it. I watch TV at work too.
Relevant Elephant. Love the name. $5 super chat. Is it too inappropriate to give thanks for the Giants finally launching Shane Bowen into the sun at the family dinner? You guys can give thanks for whatever you want at Thanksgiving.
That's right.
And Giants fans are obviously probably happy that Shane Bowen is no longer there.
James Alba, thank you for the super chat. Connor is a fellow victim to Big Tucks. I'm sorry. And someone who has watched Bryce Petty and Chris Streveler. I think we deserve to get this quarterback pick right for once. I agree.
Bryce Petty played for the Jets?
Bryce Petty started games for the Jets.
Oh, no. You said games, plural.
Games.
You know, the Bryce Petty quote that always sticks out. Every single time somebody brings up Bryce Petty's name, I always remember the interview that I read from him after after his first year in the league, where he was like, "Yeah, I actually know defenses now, so I don't have to like ask Mad a lot."
Yeah, that was the big one.
Yeah,
and when at Baylor, it was three
it's
different
one read.
looks. Yeah,
it's
three different
half-field
looks.
reads. You remember when God, who was the offensive coordinator? Was that Art Briles?
It was Briles' system.
When the receivers who weren't towards the concept side of the field literally didn't move.
They didn't run. They were
ball
told
was
to conserve energy.
The ball was snapped, and they were just like, "All right, what's going on over there?"
Dude, that set football back.
It's tough
for decades.
Tough. Azure, turkey and a smoker, 100%. Nice. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna get chicken wings in a smoker. I'm gonna get turkey in a smoker. We're gonna get ribs in a smoker. Phenomenal. BYX $4.44. Trevor Shuck, I love you.
Wow.
The people say that I look like Tyler Shuck.
We've done this before. I always go back to Gabriel Landeskog.
Yeah, I like that one better.
I mean, I'm not kidding. If you and Landeskog were sitting side by side, like if they put you in an Avs full uniform and pads and helmet,
I could get away with it.
And I think people would think it's Landeskog on the bench. I really do. It's wild, man.
I'm obviously more jacked, but
yeah, you're bigger than Gabriel Landeskog, captain of one of the best hockey teams the last half decade. Max Davis, thank you for the super chat. You guys should start a wing sauce line called Pimp My Meat Umbrella. Also, go Bears. We got to
get a couple of Go Bears here.
We got to shorten that name, but you're onto something, Max.
Luke, $5 super chat. JKS. I don't know how to say his full name. This is the quarterback at Cal that everybody's super pumped about.
He's not eligible though.
No.
Okay.
He's a freshman. He is a true freshman. He's not. We can't talk.
We're
about
not
him
even
for another 2 years.
Yeah, but people are very excited. Trinidaddy _Matt. Me, Jets analyst is too good for Jalen Hurts. That's a quote from me from Badlands. I won't even get too far into it. We were talking about like fake trades for veteran quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And I kind of was like, I'm not giving up multiple ones for Jalen Hurts. And then I laughed at me saying it because the Jets haven't had a quarterback in a lifetime. So it's like funny to be like, I'm too good for that. But
I wouldn't give up 2 firsts for Jalen Hurts.
No way.
Not to the Jets. Why would you do that?
No.
Jalen Hurts, I think, is fantastic for exactly where the Eagles are.
That's exactly right.
And he is so great for where he does not turn the ball over. He is super smart with the football. He can complete deep passes when they need to, but like none of that works with the Jets.
No. And then the Jets would be trading their assets and taking on quarterback money. That's not where the Jets are right now.
Yeah.
So thank you for understanding.
Meg Breezy, $10 super chat. Any consideration for Jaden Mailava with the Jets' second first-round pick if they go BPA with their first? #bad.
Yeah, this is becoming kind of a scenario for sure. It definitely is.
I don't know if Mailava is going to be a first-round pick.
I don't think so. The only reason he would go
Mailava, though, decently enough.
The only reason he'd go in the first is for the 5th year.
Yeah.
But by the 2nd year, you often know if you want to extend the guy. So it's like, I don't know. The 5th year is kind of a weird way to.
Well, it's only Yeah. That's true.
All right. Dyshawn Allen, you guys should make some Sex Addicts merch. I'm trying to walk into my family Thanksgiving with a Sex Addict shirt. I agree.
Yeah, we agree. We absolutely agree.
Good idea.
Darian, $5 super chat. Raiders fans here. I hope we go O-line instead of Mendoza. Fano allows us to move Glaze and JPJ, making 3 spots better. Mendoza equals a 2027 QB5. Oh,
it might seem like a hot take, but
I don't know off the top of my head who. Well, I mean, like saying I would take over Mendoza
more if he's not in this class.
Yeah, but I mean, like Moore is up there with Mendoza like right now. So
I think our fearless hero here probably like CJ Carr.
Oh, maybe. I have not watched enough of CJ Carr. I have not, but I can understand Raiders fans wanting to go with offensive line instead of a quarterback. I can understand that. Frosted Eggshells, $5 super chat. Thanksgiving start bench cut. Stuffing, green bean casserole, Drake May. Okay, we're obviously starting Drake May. I'm benching stuffing and then cutting.
Yeah, yes, that's the absolute order. If anyone has a different answer, I'd find it weird.
Yeah. Fire Hazard $2 super chat says football show. By the way,
that's right. It's not really a football show. That's just that's the key to get people to watch. And then we talk about other stuff.
And then we talk about hot sauce on it.
I don't want to miss Griffin R, who sent us a $50 super chat. Thank you so much. Sending a little extra love for you fellas on this one. What's your favorite and least favorite Thanksgiving dishes? P.S. Make sure $6.90 of this goes to Chef Cook. Thank you, Griffin. That was really nice, and we will fulfill our promise. My favorite Thanksgiving dish and my least favorite. I mean, I think our last comment with all the great stuff on Thanksgiving, I don't really take the green beans very often. I'm not looking to pile on the plate with green beans. Doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, that's probably my least favorite. Although I do like getting a little bit of green in there, makes myself feel a little bit better.
It's like a necessity. It's not
if we got the Brussels sprouts in the mix, though. I'm taking Brussels over green beans
by a mile. My favorite. That's actually really tricky. Stuffing, obviously, is going to be the answer for most. Stuffing's great.
I love stuffing, and I know this is cheating, but I'll shout her out anyways. My grandmother, 93 years old yesterday, by the way.
Happy birthday.
She makes she's Italian, full on Italian. She makes like a sausage and peppers stuffing that is just
to die for. Yeah,
phenomenal.
That's hard to top.
So that's hard to top. That is it's a Sikkema specialty there.
I like
that.
But
that's my favorite.
I like that.
Yeah.
There's so many options. Candy yams, love them.
Oh, you're a candy yams guy.
Yeah, I love candy yams. I'll load up the plate. I'll have a full plate of just mashed potatoes with a sea of gravy.
Somebody said earlier, protein powder, anabolic steroids in the mashed potatoes, so the protein powder in the mashed potatoes.
Done.
Good. Yeah. Just scoop a little creatine in there. You'll never even notice. DeMarcus, $5 super chat said, "Hey fellas, love the content. How do we feel about Ahmad Hardy in the 2027 draft?" I love Ahmad Hardy. He's awesome.
He looks amazing.
Dude's a stud. Amazing. He's going to be fantastic. We're going to be talking about him as RB1 going into next year, I think.
Sports Debate Arena. Why shouldn't quarterback needy teams out the top 10 like Minnesota or Pitt take shots on Maava or Sorsby if they don't think they'll stay on the board later? We'll have a deeper combo about
I don't think Sorsby's a first rounder, do you?
Not even close.
Yeah, I don't either.
I thought he was like a fourth, fifth rounder.
That's what I had him initially.
Yes. And I think Maava is a day 2 guy.
Yeah.
So maybe Maava is the combo you're talking about.
Yes. I like that option for Pitt. Like of teams that might be picking in the 20s or something, a quarterback that could be there, or potentially, like if Pittsburgh wants to trade back in like back end of the first round, early part of the second round, something like that, and draft Maava, I think that's a little bit better. But I actually do like the landing spot for Maava and Pitt. I think that could make a lot of sense. Minnesota, yeah, I mean, we'll have the quarterback conversation about Minnesota. I think it's all over the place. Football Analysis, aka Garrett, was in the chat earlier. He was talking about he was subtly talking about 9 and the issue that they might have
9 to 5
here.
Silver Hammer Brew, thoughts on Noah Fafita? We had Noah Fafita on a stock up during this season.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be in our final quarterback rankings, obviously. I thought when I watched him from stock up about a month ago, I thought he was playing much better football compared to last year. He was getting back to the version of himself from 2 years ago.
Badger Love gave us a $5 super chat, said, "Have you guys watched any of the Wisconsin pass rushers? All this Goatmeyer talk, but the Badgers had him in the walls of Jericho all game." I haven't watched. Did you catch that game?
They mashed Illinois. Remember my Illinois bet? I need one more win from them.
Oh, yeah.
I watched it in agony.
Yeah.
No, I need to actually watch them as prospects, but Wisconsin mashed Illinois. And Illinois has, I got to make sure JC Davis played in that game, but like Illinois has some talent up front. So, although I think Davis is a guard, not an NFL tackle.
The reason why I read that is because Chuba also, of course, gave us the
there he is.
The scheduled show $2 super chat, dibs on Goatmeyer for the dynasty. So
you got him, pal. He's all yours.
That's all you.
I think we have 2 more left.
Yeah, Fire Hazard, $5 super chat. Eagles don't have a tight end under contract next year. What are y'all's thoughts for them? A lot of tight ends they could choose from in this class. Jack Hendry's in this class. Justin Jolie's in this class. Max Claire's in this class. Obviously, Kenyon Sadiq as well if you want to go at the very top. But I just mentioned Josh Cuevas, who I really like from Alabama. Tanner Koziel from Houston. Like there are a
Daquan
lot
Wright
of
at Ole
tight
Miss.
ends. Daquan Wright from Ole Miss. There are a lot of tight ends in this class. I really do think so. Ray gave it. Oh, would you want any other tight ends? I don't want to put you.
No, you're
okay.
good.
Ray gave us a $5 super chat, which was, I think, just to support the show. And then he gave us another $5 super chat. Said, as a Texans fan, I would love for EMW. That was the safety that you were just talking about
from Toledo.
Yeah, to be a safety option for us. He's a dog, would compete in that defense in the best way possible. I mean, him and Kalen Bullock.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
And
then we had one.
Ray.
We had one more super chat that I missed. That was a happy Thanksgiving that I was saving towards the end, but either I clicked off of it or it's not here anymore. I don't know where
it is. McFarland Jeffrey. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Everyone is great. Tell your mom you love her. I will. Thank you, McFarland.
I wanted to end with that one.
I love it. Very wholesome.
Just to say to everybody, have a happy Thanksgiving. It is an incredible football weekend, folks. I mean, Black Friday, the Thanksgiving Day games are unbelievable this year. The rivalry games on Saturday, the Sunday slate, obviously Monday Night Football as well. There's so much great football on this weekend. Whether you are celebrating it just yourself, with your friends, with your family, however you celebrate Thanksgiving, we hope it is a fantastic weekend for you guys. We truly mean it when we say we love you. We appreciate you. We love doing this show. You guys are our family. So we wanted to make sure that we still got you those 2 episodes, even right before Thanksgiving. You want to follow the show at NFLSC Show on all the platforms, at Tampa Bay Trey, at Connor J. Rogers. But Connor, anything else before we go?
I echo everything you said. A huge thank you to everybody in the chat and everybody that supports this show, all the super chats, all the comments, all the love. You guys are awesome. Have a safe and lovely, happy Thanksgiving with your families.
For Tyler Cook, behind the glass, for Connor Rogers, I'm Trevor Sikkema saying thank you guys so much for watching and listening to another episode of the NFL Stock Exchange podcast. We will see you guys at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time.